Hi everyone, it's Lori from Carnivore here. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first visit to my channel, I give you a hearty welcome and I hope you'll come back and look at other videos in the future. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. And if you like what you see, I hope you will like and subscribe. Thank you all for coming. Today, I'd like to talk about a topic that can push a lot of hot buttons both in and out of the proper human diet community. That topic is fast food. And what I want to talk to you about today is why fast food restaurants are not necessarily off limits to carnivores. Now, you may, be very familiar with the common perceptions of fast food restaurants, that they're, definitely not a place where people eat food for their health. People have many, negative perceptions of fast food restaurants. For example, you might hear things like, well, there's far healthier eating available elsewhere. Fast food is uncreative, it's flavorless, it's assembly line prepared, it's heart attack on a plate fare. Eating fast food is childish. Mature adults don't eat it. You need to grow up and eat real food. Unfortunately, there are a lot of very negative commentary that is perpetuated all the time about fast food. And I have heard many, many comments from people who just have utter contempt for it. And what I wanted to do was kind of explore some of the worst comments that I've heard, because not only do I want to, argue that many of these are not accurate, but just I believe that they provide a very inaccurate perspective of the whole world of fast food. So I'm going to share with you several of these examples, and you may have heard these themselves. These are examples of things I have actually seen myself, heard myself, or heard them online. So let's start with number one. Every fast food place should be burned to the ground. This is unfortunately not helpful at all. It provides no insight. It's really histrionics, and it's really quite arrogant. Because yes, fast food restaurants have a lot of problems, but saying that they should be burned to the ground is just really way, way off the wall. So I would recommend that anyone who says something like this, just ignore it. You might also hear something like, well, I'd never take one of my family members to one of those places, implying that, you would be actually harming your family or your children by taking them to a, fast food restaurant because the food is so incredibly unhealthy. And so, a lot of people say I would never take my children to this restaurant or that restaurant. And what I'm going to be doing is using a fictional fast food restaurant name, and you can fill in the name of any restaurant that's most familiar to you. Here's another one. Sure, go to Quickie Burger and order a heart attack along with your monster kitchen sink burger and fries. Now, if you look at this picture of this burger, yes, it is quite a disaster because you've got meat there, yes, but look at, you've got a bun, ketchup, all kinds of condiments and sauces, French fries. I mean, this is really very bad fare. So unfortunately, the piece of meat is sort of stuck in the middle there among all this other bad food. And, I don't know if you call this heart attack fare, but it definitely is not healthy fare. Or how about this one? Anyone who likes real food would never go to a place like Quickie Burger. Now, there's a bunch of problems here. First of all, what is real food? That could mean anything, depending on who you talk to. And unfortunately, the definition of real food, is all over the map. And a lot of people, see real food as the typical, type of healthy regimen we've heard about for many, many years. The rainbow plate, fruits and vegetables, complex carbohydrates, whole grains, things like that. Well, we're learning more and more about what is actually natural, wholesome, healthy food. And part of the problem is that, people tend to see their perception of what, quote, real food is um, as, the best way to eat. And that is not necessarily true the more that we learn about it. So I would take the term real food with a grain of salt. Now, what we're learning as we learn more about meat is that meat is extremely nutrient dense. It's ancestrally appropriate for us to eat, and it's unprocessed and wholesome. So meat and eggs and butter and beef and other, forms of animal food are being seen as natural and wholesome. So that's just something to keep in mind when people start talking about what they think is real food. Here's one that just made no sense to me at all. A legislator in one of the major cities here in California proposed that the city council put a law into effect to ban construction of fast food restaurants near schools. Now, this made no sense to me right from the start, because if you want to put some separation between fast food and schools, that means you would have to ban construction or shut down every convenience store, every grocery store, every drugstore, every gas station that was near a school, because you can get all kinds of junk food at all of those places. Junk food is available everywhere, and if kids know where to find it, they will find it, and they will walk to this, these places on their lunch hour and buy the junk food. I've seen kids standing in line at the drugstore, for example, and they'll get a big bag of Doritos, some M&Ms, and some Pepsi, and that will be their lunch. So there's really no way that you can keep junk food that far away from schools. Plus, soda machines are right in schools now. And when you think about school lunches, they're pretty much outsourced in every school now. And a lot of the outsourced lunch that they bring in for kids to eat is not healthy. It's, very highly processed, and a lot of times includes snacks like potato chips. So there's no guarantee that keeping fast food restaurants far away from schools is going to help at all. So, we know that fast food is problematic in many ways. Let's look at our kitchen sink burger again here. And you can see that the one healthy part of this sandwich, the meat, look at what it's drowning in. It's drowning in all kinds of other unhealthy things. And that's really a shame, because it's almost as if that piece of meat, is screaming, help, get me out of here, because it's just surrounded by all this other destructive food. So one thing that we know, that I have discovered for sure with the help of my fellow carnivores, is that it's not 100% bad with fast food, because there is one healthy item there, and that's the piece of meat. On the other hand, fast food has some other problems too. Fast food establishments typically appeal very highly to children, and they use toys and prizes and balloons and celebrity tie-ins, to make coming to fast food restaurants very attractive to children. And a lot of times kids will beg their parents to take them to Quickie Burger or whatever their favorite restaurant is, and they might say, oh, Mom, can we please go to Quickie Burger? I want to get the Space Ranger toy that they're offering with the Mighty Kids meal or something like that. The other thing about fast food restaurants is the tie-in with the word fast. People all over are living far more fast-paced lives now. They don't have time to cook like they used to. People don't eat together at the same time. So fast food is often a way to get a quick meal, when there's no other alternative and you can't get home to cook. But fast food can work once you know how to work the menu. And this is something that I have learned with the help of my fellow proper human diet travelers. Because what I found is that you can go to a fast food restaurant and you can ask them to sell you, 1, 2, 3, 4, how many beef patties that you want. Just the patties, not the bun, not the sauce, not the ketchup, not the mustard, not anything else. And they will sell it to you. I remember that there was a video that I watched with our dear friend, the late Jeff DeProsperous. He filmed a video clip in which he was in his car, and I believe his sons were with him. So he pulls up to the drive-up window at a fast food restaurant, and he says, well, I've got kind of an unusual order because we're carnivores and we don't eat anything but meat. So we would like to buy 30 small beef patties, for the 3 men in the car. And the server says, well, just 30 beef patties and nothing else. And he said, that's right. So she was more than happy to prepare that order for him, and they drove away happily with their 30 beef patties and split them up. And so I decided to do the same thing, and I found that at 2 fast food restaurants that I've been to, they're more than happy to do that. So I can have my beef patties, and these, I trust that these are real beef. I don't think they have any fillers in them, but, if I'm on the run and I can't, cook at home, it's a great alternative. So what we have to keep in mind is that, yes, fast food restaurants are problematic in many ways, but they themselves are not the enemy. Instead, we need to focus on how food is marketed and sold everywhere, not just in fast food places, but every restaurant, every grocery store, everywhere prepared food is sold. And we need to have a greater understanding of how that food is contributing to chronic illness and misery. That will help far more people grow into better health than just bashing fast food restaurants, because they are not our enemy. They really aren't. So I hope this has been a valuable perspective for you. I like to think that all of us who are pursuing a proper human diet, no matter where you are on the spectrum, I happen to be carnivore myself, but we never stop panning for nutritional gold, no matter where we are, whether we're at home or on the road, and even the quickie burgers of the world have some hidden gold. So I want to thank you for watching this video with me today. And please do click like if you enjoyed what you heard and found it valuable. And thank you once again, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye for now.